Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you are. Hope you have an amazing day today. So, the main topic of the today news is the US inflation and inflation in general. So, what causes this inflation? And what can be the effect on Bitcoin and on the crypto market? So first, let's check this M1 money supply, money stock. So this is the amount of US dollar that it's printed in the M1 circle. And we see that from these low amounts, it's increased really fast from 4,000 billions up to, let's say, 18,000 billions. And this is a really, really sharp increase in this M1 money supply. So also we had the financial crisis here in this region, but there was not too much additional money printed. But now, because the corona pandemic and the close down, the lockdown, this huge amount was printed. So it's more than 4 times US dollar was issued, was printed in this last 1 year. And also check the M2 money supply. We see the M2 money supply, it's increased in the past, let's say 20 years, but also increased sharply in the past 1 year. So what can this result when more and more US dollars, euros, Japanese yens are in circulation? Then it comes the inflation. And lots of economists also warned that inflation will come. And now we have the first sign that the inflation in the US started to increase. And also, let's check it. And also, I will talk about why is it so important because Bitcoin. So this is the US inflation. We see that this is the biggest level here after 2008. It's 5% now. And as we check here, what about the other countries? Then we see that in some countries are really low, and also some countries that used to be high, or some maybe economically is not so powerful countries like Portugal, Italy, or maybe Spain or Ireland. So these countries were before also within the EU a kind of developing countries with weak economic measurements, but now the inflation is really in good condition there. And we see that US is here with this 5%, and most of the European and other big countries are before the US. And we see just Mexico is just 1% away, and then Russia is also just 1% away, Brazil just few percentage, and we see Turkey, Argentina, Venezuela with really high numbers. But yeah, so you can say that 5% is nothing, but if you put together that let's say in 10 years 5% means 50%. That means that half your money worth just a half of it than 10 years ago. So this is quite insane. And a small inflation is good for the economy. Let's say 1-2% can be good for the economy, because the GDP is growing and the economy is growing. But when the inflation is going higher than 5%, then it can hurt a lot. It can result that increasing the funding rates, increasing the credit rates, and then the economy just will slowing down. So this is a really hard situation to balance, if also just stimulating the economy with some free money, but also avoid these huge inflation numbers. And let's check here an interview on CNBC. I will play it for you. And
all of our everyone is talking about inflation, which is having a real life impact on all of our wallets right now. Christina Partsenevelis joins us right now. She's got more on that front. And Christina, it's definitely costing more just to go about your daily routine.
Which is why I'm here to break down a hypothetical day for you, because we know increased demand along with supply issues are pushing up prices to levels we haven't seen since 2008. So in order to prepare you for any sticker shock, let's break down what maybe an average day would mean and what it would mean for your wallet. So you walk over to your favorite coffee shop to get a latte. You skip out on the extra sugar and pumps and oat milk because the average gourmet coffee drink is $4.85, up 8% compared to last year. You then go buy some orange juice, which is up 21% in the past 2 years due to tighter supplies in the United States and Mexico. Your significant other is a milk drinker, so you grab that, which is up almost 5% this year. After you drop off your groceries, you start searching for flights to Las Vegas. You want to gamble some of your Dogecoin wins. According to Hopper, domestic airfare prices are expected to rise a total of 16% heading into the summer, peaking in late June. You're thankful you can walk the Vegas Strip by foot because rental car prices are 95% from the start of the year to average $99 a day. You're frustrated with the prices, so you call your good old friend Gregory Dacko from Oxford Economics and ask if inflation is going to be a problem going forward.
Inflation is a feature of this recovery, not a bug. And essentially, it reflects this imbalance between this very strong demand from consumers and businesses and a gradually responding supply to that very strong demand. And as there is this mismatch between very strong demand and gradually accelerating supply, there are pockets of price pressures.
You realize companies have to pass on some of those higher costs, but you hope these increases are only a temporary byproduct of the pandemic, or transitory, like the economists and the Fed like to say, or else you'll have no savings left to gamble away once you hit Sin City.
Yeah, so so inflation is it's not a problem, it's not a bug, that as the gentleman is saying, but I think that as all these goods are inflating in a different level, so as you have seen, flights inflating 16%, car rental inflating 95%. So it's also depending on what kind of cost do you have. Maybe you are just consuming such a product that's inflating higher, or you are consuming product that is getting cheaper. But also we can experience if you are going into the shop and you will get just, let's say, a half of the dozen that you used to get. So, and as Bitcoin has a limited supply of 21 million coins that will be issued in the next 100 years. Now, it's issued almost 18 million. And as no one can manipulate the Bitcoin, no one can print more, no one can issue more, that is, Bitcoin is resistance, is a scare asset against inflation. It's a kind of gold, but also gold has some inflation because just people spending more on gold mining, and they can mine and sell more gold. So also gold has some small inflation, almost 2.5%, if I'm right. But Bitcoin is a non-inflationary asset, so it has no inflation, and that is why there was a really nice speech on the Miami Bitcoin conference that I also broadcasted on CorionX YouTube channel. So you should definitely watch this. This breaking news. Miami Bitcoin will underpin the US dollar because it's about that how to solve this problem. A Senator Cynthia Lummis has a great idea how to underpin the US dollar with Bitcoin and to avoid this inflation and keep the US dollar as a world reserve asset. So you should definitely check this video. So let's get to the news. So MicroStrategy gets 1.6 billion in orders in junk bond offering. So there was an offering, they wanted to issue a 400 million bond and purchasing Bitcoin from the raised amount. And they got 1.6 billion worth of orders. So this is almost 4 times that they offered. And this is that institutions, hedge funds, big players, accredited investors gonna buy Bitcoin. They are buying Bitcoin and they are just oversubscribed in this bond issuance. So I think this is a really great sign that institutional demand is out there, and we can see continue this, and MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor doing a great job pioneering Bitcoin and spreading Bitcoin adoption. So we know also there was a news, you can check previous videos about El Salvador. So El Salvador president wants to build volcano powered crypto miners. So El Salvador has volcanoes and they are just getting some energy from the volcanoes, and this energy is 100% clean and renewable. And they want to facilitate Bitcoin mining with very cheap, 100% clean and renewable, zero emission energy from the country's volcanoes. And this is really it's so excitement that energy from volcanoes. So it's not just energy from the coal mine or energy from the sun, but energy from volcanoes. And this is a picture. This is a kind of it's built on the volcanoes, and it's a kind of factory that from the steam of the volcanoes, they are just producing with huge turbines. They are producing an energy, and they will facilitate Bitcoin mining with this energy. I think this is a great news, and also they announced lots of other promotions and a lot of other advantages for crypto entrepreneurs and also businesses and people encouraging using cryptocurrencies. So I think this is a great news, and as I mentioned several times that I think in the future those countries that they possess Bitcoin mining at a higher percentage, that they will have economic power. And that is why I'm really disappointed what China is doing with banning Bitcoin mining and prohibiting Bitcoin mining in such region, because I think North America, US, and these developing countries definitely will benefit, but I think China just will realize it, and then also they will jump in the bandwagon again. Okay, so that we had the news that El Salvador and other Latin American countries accepting Bitcoin as a legal tender. And also if you check here, let's say El Salvador on Google, El Salvador. Yeah, so this is my mother language Hungarian, but Bitcoin, you see, Bitcoin, official currency, Bitcoin and the US dollar. So it's stated there. Nice. But IMF voices concerns over El Salvador making Bitcoin legal tender. Why? Because El Salvador had the US dollar as a legal tender, and now they are introducing Bitcoin as a legal tender, but also they are keeping US dollar as a legal tender, and they will put details in the accounts in US dollar. So also merchants can decide if they want to keep Bitcoin or they want to exchange it to US dollar. So the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, has warned of a number of macroeconomic, financial, and legal issues surrounding El Salvador making Bitcoin legal tender. Crypto assets can pose significant risk, and effective regulatory measures are very important when dealing with them. And IMF spokesperson continued. So why is it so? Because IMF is a big bank. It's like a huge bank, and they are giving loans to developing countries and giving loans to other countries, and they are forcing these countries to keep some economic measurements, or maybe some GDP data, or some debt data, or raising tax, or doing so and doing that. And as they used to use US dollar, just US dollar for this, I think this is the concern that Bitcoin is a new asset and it's not a US dollar. So we will see what will happen. Maybe they will just freeze some funds for El Salvador, but we'll see. Maybe at the end of the day, El Salvador will take more benefits if using Bitcoin and refusing this IMF loans. But yeah, so IMF loans can be helpful, but also can make a country as a slavery kind of thing, because then they should pay in the next 50 years, and so it can be really helpful, but sometimes it's really dangerous. So adoption of Bitcoin as legal tender raises a number of macroeconomic, financial, and legal issues. Crypto assets can pose significant risk, and effective regulatory measures and very important when dealing with them. So this is that for that. El Salvador has been in discussion with the IMF seeking a near $1 billion loan. So maybe maybe IMF will say to El Salvador, if you really make Bitcoin as a legal tender, then you will get not this loan, but maybe this will save El Salvador to be not a slavery for IMF with this huge loan. But maybe I really don't know, but you should definitely be careful if taking out a loan, even if as individual or your company or as a country. Okay, so we'll see, but hopefully someday IMF will understand this Bitcoin, and also IMF will understand why it would be so important to underpin the US dollar with Bitcoin, and then they will became really Bitcoin friendly one day. But it's just, I suppose, this. So IMF sounds legal economic alarms over El Salvador's Bitcoin adoption. Okay, the organization says making the Bitcoin legal tender spoils an ongoing economic program. Okay. Legal tender is the country that can use alongside the US dollar to pay for goods and services, clear debts and remittances. And IMF loans, these funds are debt. And if, IMF wouldn't be happy if El Salvador would clear debts with Bitcoin. Okay. Both bodies like the IMF don't seem impressed. They have spent years challenging the overall need and rise of cryptocurrencies, and instead focus on the creation of state-backed digital currencies. Development is no. Crypto is a very marginal story to the Salvadoran investment thesis, said Patrick Ostroyas, research head of AMO Asset Management in New York. Not everyone is against El Salvador and Bukele. However, this week saw neighboring country Mexico, Panama, South American countries, Paraguay, jump on the Bitcoin train as well. Local politicians confirm their interest about integrating the asset in a bigger manner with the economy. So we see that all these leaders just put laser eyes profile picture on their Twitter. Yeah, I just I spoke it about yesterday. So this looming DAX cross could signal Bitcoin bear market, and I see that in the media and also on crypto Twitter and YouTube, a lot of people are threatening with this, that what will happen if this 50-day moving average will cross the 200-day moving average, because a lot of people are following this, and most of the people just will remember, if this cross happens, that a bear market should come. So maybe there will be a huge sell-off, but also I follow some traders that they see really great opportunity to just going an opposite way as the horde is going. So I think this can happen very soon, so few days. If we check this chart, so this is a 4-hourly chart, and this one is the 400-day. Let's see if I can make it. Yeah, I can make it. So this is the 200 days, and another one is the 50 days. So I think we have maybe few days, and we'll see lots of market movements will happen. Bitcoin price can be very volatile, but maybe will not cross. Just if the price would starting to increase and also passing this, then maybe they will go for parallel for a time, but we'll see. But now a lot of fear and uncertainty about what will happen if this will cross, but I don't think that it's a big issue. So the next piece of news: Bitcoin price prediction. BTC holds crucial support while bulls gaze at 42,000. Okay, Bitcoin sits of robust support provided by the 100 and the 50 simple moving average. The MACD has a bullish impulse, suggesting that slight resistance path is upward. So it's really positive, but one day we see some negative news, someday positive news. So you even can decide. So it really is a no land territory that we are just side waving. Bitcoin bulls focus on securing higher support and gaining ground above 400,000 US dollar. Moving average has a bullish impulse of 4-hour chart. Technical indicator following the trend of an asset and measuring its movement. The MACD rarely shows oversold and overbought conditions. Okay. The buyers are gaining immense trend, and sellers begin to lose ground. Note that the MACD moves above to zero line. The market generally starts to trend north and show on the Bitcoin chart. So this is the MACD, and it went above zero, and then the price starting to increasing, and it's also the RSI from overbought went to a little bit over sold at the 4-hourly chart. Okay, support at 36,600, trend is bullish, resistance 38,000, 40,000, and the 200 simple moving average. And as we are heading into the weekend, we can expect some volatility because in weekend, big hedge funds and traders are not trading, just retail, and that is why the liquidity sometimes is low, and some big players are just manipulating the market easier on leverage exchanges. So be careful. Don't let your Bitcoins taken from you. Cardano price analysis. Cardano attempting to retrace towards the 20-day EMA and regain $2. Cardano got rejected at 1.56. Is the 50-day simple moving average, the main resistance. The next bullish target lies at 1.94. Okay, so it's somehow good news. The overall market for ADA is trading on bearish momentum with several signs of weaknesses around 1.53 and 1.5. Nonetheless, Cardano price action was able to recover from a 21% slump after correcting downwards from its 5-day high. Nice. Resistance at 50 days, 1.56. Okay. So here is the chart. We see that there is a resistance, so we should overcome the 1.56 resistance level, and then the price can just continue upwards if this 1.55 and 56 will be overcome. But I think it's I don't know what time frame is. Maybe it's 1 minute, or it's really strange. So maybe it's a 1 minute chart. I never use 1 minute chart because you cannot make any conclusion in 1 minute. So it's really garbage then. Sorry for that, but the SEC warns investors of the risk with Bitcoin futures. The SEC has warned that investors should understand the Bitcoin, including gaining exposure through the Bitcoin futures market, is a highly speculative investment. We know that on the future market, you can trade with leverage, and you can even trade 10 times or 100 times of your funds. But if the price is going against you, then you can lose easily all of your funds. So you should be very, very careful. Investors should consider the volatility of Bitcoin and the Bitcoin futures market, as well as the lack of regulation and potential for fraud or manipulation. So I think the most problem is when some whales are manipulating the market, and they are shaking out all the long positions and all the short positions. So that is the problem used to be. Related, JP Morgan points to weak Bitcoin futures as signal for bear market. So now JP Morgan is waiting a bear market. It's good because when the Bitcoin price peaked at 65,000, they expected a bull market. SEC is issuing the investors warning onshore exchanges, which offer only about 1.6 leverage. Just imagine how it views offshore exchanges offering 100 times leverage. Cool. Micro Bitcoin futures. So even SEC is not so supportive this Bitcoin futures, but now this Chicago Mercantile Exchange just launched this micro Bitcoin futures, and it will provide efficient, cost-efficient new way to fine-tune Bitcoin exposure and enhance your trading strategies. Enjoy. Okay. So this is a kind of micro asset. You can better trade it. Yeah, but I think it's nothing special maybe for retail investors. Coinbase users filed class action over locked accounts. What? Coinbase users claim the company wrongfully locked them from their accounts for periods of up to several months. It's really insane. So imagine that you wanted to purchase something, let's say, and then you cannot get access to your funds, or you wanted to pay some bill with crypto, and then you are not get access to your funds. The group is seeking damages of more than $5 million for themselves and any other Coinbase users who registered an account in the last 4 years and who likewise got barred from accessing their account for a prolonged period of time. A guy from Oklahoma claims he deposited $30,000 last December to purchase the cryptocurrency XRP, but that a month later he received an error message. No, this by phoning. It took Coinbase months to restore the account. So maybe then the guy was not able to purchase XRP. So he also has some alternative loss because if he would purchase XRP, maybe he would make some profit, but this is just an alternative cost in this. So that is why you are better using, yes, Coinbase used to be a good exchange, but maybe they are suffering with this support and client things. So yeah, use several exchanges. The next piece of news, really, really interesting. Trump administration popped 2017 Bitcoin bubble. Once again, Trump administration popped 2017 Bitcoin bubble, ex-CTFC chairs says. What? The Trump administration acted to deflate the Bitcoin bubble of 2017 by allowing the introduction of future products, former officials said Monday. Okay. One of the untold stories of the past few years is that the CFTC, the Treasury, the SEC, SEC, and the National Economic Council director at the time, Gary Cohn, believed that the launch of Bitcoin futures would have the impact of popping the Bitcoin bubble, and it worked. So it was somehow organized by regulators and officials and Treasury and other official government agencies that impacting popping the Bitcoin bubble. Okay. Okay, that was the first major bubble after the 2008 financial crisis. That's why the Trump administration acted in concert to address it in a pro-market manner, he said. And Bitcoin futures listed by the Chicago Mercantile Exchange and CBOE futures were announced by the CFTC on December 2017 and went live on December. Bitcoin price peaked and nearly $20,000 one day earlier and before falling dramatically in subsequent weeks. Why is it so, guys? Because with these Bitcoin futures, they were able to short Bitcoin. So before that, there was a spot trading or some maybe just a small leverage trading platforms. But with these futures, they were able to short Bitcoin, and they popped the bubble. It seems that they popped the bubble with shorting Bitcoin with these futures, and also other investors joined. We saw a bubble building, and we thought the best way to address it was to allow the market to interact with it. Okay. There are different views. Yeah, summer lessons. Yeah, so somehow I can understand this, that they wanted to prevent, but I think this bubble was not built by huge banks. They built the bubble in 2018 with the mortgage-backed loans and with all this craziness. This was a really small bubble built by retail investors, and unlikely they just popped it. So I think a lot of retail investors lost a lot of money that time. So I don't know where is the attitude to to keep safe the retail investors with this if the big officials are popping the bubble and not naturally it pops out. Okay, so quite interesting. I will get back to this later. There was a news yesterday, but also I want to mention this. India to reportedly ditch Bitcoin ban agenda in favor of asset classification. This is a really important news. So India seems to be follow the other Latin American countries. And in the past 2-3 years, every month there was a news that India is banning Bitcoin and India is not crypto friendly and so on and so on. And now it seems that no longer keen on banning Bitcoin, and the crypto regulatory bill may be up for discussion during the monsoon season in the parliament. We can definitely say that the new committee which is working on cryptocurrencies is very optimistic and cryptocurrency regulation and legislation. So it's really important news because in India, lots of brain power and also they would take huge benefit financially from Bitcoin and crypto, and also economically because lots of great developer in India would contribute developing blockchain, crypto, and Bitcoin related products, and then spreading out to the world and giving better service and benefits to humanity, and also it could raise India economic power. But I hope they are listening me and also they will considering this. Bitcoin Mining Council unveils details, confirms Elon Musk has no rule. Haha, interesting. MicroStrategy boss Michael Saylor heads up the group, which aims to foster Bitcoin education. Okay, they introduced also Michael Saylor. There was a voluntary and open forum of Bitcoin miners committed to the network and its core principles. Okay. They promote transparency, share best practices, and educate the public on the benefits. Cool. Maybe CorionX and the Money in the Right Direction will contacting them because it's also SVR supporting the crypto adoption and education that we can do it together. Elon Musk has no role at the Bitcoin Mining Council. The extent of his involvement was joining an educational call with a group of the North American companies to discuss Bitcoin mining. Okay, believe that transparency around energy uses for mining is important and agree to voluntarily share their energy mix and hash rate size for research and educational purposes. We don't seek to change the decentralized nature of Bitcoin or its core principles, but rather are working to raise awareness about Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining. Okay. Cool. So Elon Musk will not survive, will not rescue Bitcoin and energy. All the countries where Bitcoin adoption is being considered. So there was a news. So we know El Salvador, Paraguay, Panama, Brazil, Mexico, and maybe India will join, Argentina, and I heard also Togo, a small island. And I think also Marshall Island wanted to adopt Bitcoin sometimes, but that time IMF also came out and just maybe just forced them with some economic power or some credits that not to take Bitcoin as a legal tender, but I'm not sure. But now there is a movement. We know that the US dollar is losing its economic power because the inflation that I studied this video, and also as these Latin American countries will use another legal tender, not just the US dollar, then US dollar cannot be a world reserve currency if few countries are not using it. And also Russia there was a news last week, check the video, that Russia just said no to US dollar crypto reserves, and they are removing every US dollar based reserve, and they will not keep any US dollar reserve in their central bank and other reserve funds. So yeah, I should have bought a lot more Bitcoin. Hedge fund billionaire Mary Leslie says this. Nice to hear that, but he even now can purchase some Bitcoin. American billionaire hedge fund manager Mark Leslie said he should have bought a lot more Bitcoin. There was a CNBC Squawk Box interview with him. He commented on BTC performance and the 2020 bulls run. He regrets not buying more as the price surge happened a lot quicker than he thought, mainly due to institutional investors embracing cryptocurrencies and widespread adoption by governments and other corporations. So a billionaire is stating that institutional investors embracing cryptocurrencies, widespread adoption of governments and other corporations. I think the probability as more and more people start using Bitcoin is that it's going to keep going up. It's happened a lot quicker than I thought it would. I should have bought a lot more. That was my mistake. That was no mistake. At least you purchase something, and as you are a billionaire, that even you can purchase more. So don't worry. Worry for the small guys, the small retail guys who even haven't purchased any Bitcoin. Okay, he has the Avenue Capital Group, has been a relatively bullish crypto investor and advocate. He purchased an undisclosed amount in the crypto hedge fund Block Tower Capital a few months ago. So not a few years ago, just a few months ago. I honestly don't know where it's going to go, but you are got that market. It's there. I could make you an argument. It could go to 100,000 US dollar. I could make you an argument. It could go to 20,000 US dollar. Okay. Nice. Let's see. Other billionaires will join, because you know these billionaires has billionaires like billionaires, so they have friends like billionaires, and they are telling this story. I should have bought. Oh, okay, then I will buying more. Don't worry. Invesco plans to launch 2 crypto-based ETFs. Invesco, an investment management firm with over 1.5 trillion in asset under management, has filed documents seeking approval to launch 2 cryptocurrency-based ETFs. Okay, where did they submitted this application? In the SEC, yeah, to SEC. So in the US, then I think SEC is just should review at least 10 ETF applications, because we have lots of news that this bank, this hedge fund, that financial organization submitted ETF proposal, but no ETF was approved at today. The fund will allocate its asset in the same proportion as the underlying index. The fund will invest approximately 85% in the assets in securities of the equity component, 10% in the futures component, and 5% in the ETP and trust components. Okay, so this is how they are underlining the index, the ETF with the crypto asset. So that sounds good, but I prefer that those ETFs that they are underlining with real Bitcoin, and they are hiring a custodian, or they are doing the custody on their own, because then you can be sure that the real Bitcoin or real Ethereum is behind. the ETFs, and these ETFs and ETPs, exchange traded funds, exchange traded products, are really crucial because they would help a lot to other financial intermediaries, brokers, to spread out and also to enter, helping enter retail clients or corporate clients, and just making Bitcoin really easy available to anyone. And Canada, Brazil, Argentina, Europe, Germany, UK already has these ETFs. So every eyes on the SEC when they will approve the first ETF. Okay, so that's it for today. Just check what's going on the market. Okay, we see that we have a nice red day today. Chile's just skyrocketed, engine, Ampliford, near mana, waves. Okay, so not too much. Most of them are in red, but not, yeah, not too much. So as we are heading in the weekend, volatility can come. So okay, now Ethereum is lagging behind Bitcoin. So just I think all altcoins and Ethereum are waiting what will happen with Bitcoin. But let's check the chart. So as I just told you, this is the 4-hour chart. This is the 50-day moving. This is the 200-day moving average. This is the 50-day moving average, the yellow one. And everybody is just waiting when it will cross, and then they can just say, okay, the bear market has come. So we can expect big price volatility, but maybe it will not result a kind of bear market that we witnessed in the last bear market. So let's just check it out. So if we come here, that we see here was the last cross, and then Bitcoin price fall down, and more than 1 year bear market followed. But also in 2018 there was another cross here, but just lasted for a few months, and also there was a corona dump, and just it lasted, let's say, few days or few weeks, this cross. So this is not sure that this cross will happen, and 1-2 year bear market, maybe just a cross, or just they are going parallel for a time, and we can see a more upside from here. That will be totally different. So I think you should be very careful and not just falling that the bear market has come and the price will fall down 80%, because if not, that you will just you will be left out from the upcoming bull market that is more likely will continue. Okay, so let's check on the other chart what is going on with our triangle and with our wedge. So this is the 4-hourly chart. We do have this triangle here, as you know, this triangle. And now we are going into the apex of this triangle. So the Bitcoin should really broke up or down from here. And also there is another channel, it's a wedge. And we are at the top of the wedge. So it's really crucial. If you are just, if you think that the price will revisiting this low 30,000 region, then definitely if you're shorting that, you should put a stop loss somewhere here at 38,000. But if you believe that Bitcoin will broke up from here, then you should definitely wait for the retest, and then in the retest more likely the price will go up to 32,000. But I see more likely that we will just side waving and consolidating in this range, in this blue range for a while, between 30 and 42,000. So this is my expectation, but a huge movement should come. So even upside or downside, we should see some nice price movement. Yeah. Okay, so that's it for today. Yeah, Ethereum, it's under the 200-day moving average, under the 50-day moving average as well. So Ethereum it seems to be a little bit weak. It's also just broke out from this triangle, but not doing too much. Maybe then we can change this triangle that way, but we'll see what kind of new pattern or technical things can we see on the chart. But now it seems to be that Ethereum is a downtrend here, so it can go lower. And also, as I'm checking Ethereum Bitcoin, that this is the chart. There was a trend line. We broke up nicely, and now I think we will revisit this region 0.056 or somewhere here. So I think we can expect Ethereum just come here somewhere and then just turn here. So if you shorted Ethereum against Bitcoin, then that was a good decision in the past few days. But we'll see how can we go forward. Ethereum definitely will outperform Bitcoin as because DeFi, NFTs, and all the upgrades and Ethereum 2.0. But now Bitcoin, every coin are waiting what will Bitcoin do. And as we check the Bitcoin dominance, that also we see that there is some correction in the Bitcoin dominance chart. We see that, okay, we see that there was a kind of double bottom here, and now it started to go up. So maybe just reducing the altcoin holdings and running this Bitcoin movement would make sense. So I think the market is waiting for Bitcoin, and if Bitcoin moves, then altcoins will follow, but first Bitcoin will move. Everything I'm saying in this video, it's not a financial advice, not an investment advice. It's purely educational and entertainment for educational and entertainment purposes. So great having you here. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you had an amazing day. Let's meet tomorrow, or maybe if the weekend there will be some big movement that I will go live. So thank you. Bye bye.